Okay, ma'am. Great attitude is like a perfect cup of coffee to start your day without. A very refreshing and cheerful morning to everyone in this beautiful meet of class presentation by students of class 9B and 9C. It is my extreme pleasure to extend a hearty welcome to our revered Principal cum Director ma'am, who is a visionary and the driving force behind all the achievements and glory. An eminent pedagogist and a humble recipient of prestigious National Award by MHRD, Government of India. She was felicitated by the Honorable President of India in 2019. Welcome, ma'am. I now would like to welcome our zestful and exuberant guest for the session today, who is an alumni of the school, Mr. Ari Chitransh. He was one of us a few years back. He has done diploma in acting from Institute of Creative Excellence by a big brand called Balaji Telefilms Mumbai. Currently, he is associated with Kishore Namit Kapoor Acting School, Mumbai. He is also pursuing his LLB. A special welcome to you, sir. A pleasant welcome to our dignified parent guest, Ms. Hansita Srivastav, former academic head coordinator associated with major brands like BPS, Presidium, and so on. She has a master's in computers and is pursuing MBA currently alongside her other responsibilities. She is a seasoned counselor and a workshop facilitator also. Welcome, ma'am. A very warm welcome to our vivacious and energetic Vice Principal, ma'am, undaunted and dedicated Headmistress, ma'am, industrious and meticulous TR coordinators, respected teachers, supportive parents, and dear friends.
A nation's culture resides in the hearts and in the soul of its people.
Sneha Gupta,
And I, Nakshatra Grover,
take the pride in welcoming you all to the class presentation of class 9th and 9th. ईश्वर की प्रार्थना ही हमारा प्रथम कर्तव्य है और उनका आशीर्वाद हमारा प्रथम पुरस्कार. So before starting our presentation, let's thank Almighty for making every day so beautiful and let's take His blessings.
त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुः च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविडं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव
every day starts with a new beginning, which gives us new hopes and new strength. So I would like to welcome Veer to motivate us with a beautiful thought.
Good morning, everyone. Today's thought is in India, we celebrate the commonality of major differences. We are a land of belonging rather than of blood. I repeat my thought. In India, we celebrate the commonality of major differences. We are a land of belonging rather than of blood. Thank you.
हमारी संस्कृति हमारी पहचान. India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history. the grandmother of nature, and the great grandmother of traditions.
The Indian culture has gained a lot of popularity all over the world. Indian culture is considered as the oldest and the most interesting one. People from different cultures living here are socially interdependent. That's why there's an existence of strong bond and there's unity in diversity. Today, we are going to present to you an alluring presentation on Indian culture.
The important
Sneha,
component, yes, ma'am.
we need to wait. Our respected principal come director ma'am is here, so we need to give her a welcome first. Parents, please. Yeah, August, you can take over.
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Ma'am, we start again.
Yes, not only from here, you start after August.
No, that's okay, Rima. They can continue. Beta,
Good
continue.
morning, ma'am.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
ma'am,
morning,
please let
ma'am.
us do.
Please continue, beta.
A very refreshing and cheerful morning to everyone. This beautiful meet of class presentation by students of class 9B and 9C. It is my extreme pleasure to extend a hearty welcome to our revered principal and director ma'am, who is a visionary and the driving force behind all the achievements and glory, an eminent pedagogist and a humble recipient of prestigious national award by MHRD Government of India. She was felicitated by the Honorable President of India in 2019. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you for such a warm welcome.
Start from where you left, Nakshatra.
Today, we are going to present to you an alluring presentation on Indian culture.
The important components of the Indian culture are the good values, the etiquettes, civilized communication, manners, and much more. So let me take you all to the beautiful trip of our Indian culture.
Om, it is one of the most important spiritual symbols. It refers to Atman, the soul, and Brahman, the ultimate reality. It may appear to be a small word, but Om has its roots in Indian scriptures that date back over 5,000 years ago.
This is a very deep topic, and I'm not a very expert in this topic, but yeah, I'll share my thoughts and whatever I've come across in my spiritual journey for the last 21 years. So Om is the eternal sound. Om is the sound which is there in the universe all the time. That's what even NASA has come up, where they were recording frequencies close to the sun and even close to Jupiter. And when they recorded, the space that was creating sound has had Om in it. And all our saints have been saying about this for like thousands of years, that this is where the universe began and this is where everything would end. So Om is every word has a lot of energy that it brings along with it. So chanting Om creates a lot of vibrations within our body. It elevates the life force energy in our body, which we call in the spiritual language prana. So chanting this really makes your mind more, brings a lot of clarity in your mind. More awareness comes in every action that you do. So basically increasing the life force energy in the body would ultimately lead to a happier self. So we say Om is Om, or variations of Om are there in every religion. So Hindu says Om, you say Ik Omkar, Ameen. So variations of Om have been recognized. Allah have been recognized in all religions. So it's not like narrowed down to just one religion where you say only the Hindus would say Om, but this has been recognized by every religion. And it's like an eternal sound which helps the energy to transform to a different level.
How chanting of Om enhances the energy of our body.
If you see, Om can be broken down into A, U, and Ma. If you chant these individually, you'll see, A has a lot of vibrations in the lower part of your body. U has a lot of vibrations in the midwest area of your body. And when you pronounce the last part, Ma, it has a lot of vibrations in the upper part of the body. So it's like, that life force energy is being, uplifted from the lower, from the base of the spine. It goes up, and so uh, it's a very soothing experience. And we say that, it's how calm, how peaceful you are within. If you're able to meditate and go within, you are able to come up with solutions for outside as well.
Is this significant spiritually, or there is a scientific reason also?
Yes, definitely. Our traditions were very scientifically based, and it was not just like, somebody coming up with a notion and that was being followed. It was very scientifically thought of and very scientifically designed. So yeah, as I said, both were in consensus back then. It was not to Sanskrit chants. Beautiful crystals are being formed. Whereas if you're exposing, the water to negative words, when you say "I hate you," or any negative word, how the water is transformed to very bad and ugly distorted crystals. So yeah, that's.
Can we chant Om anytime?
Yes, we can chant Om anytime, but it's a very sacred chant. So it's better that you're not uh, moving here and there. You have a quiet, peaceful environment, and you're sitting down, respecting it. Uh,
Why do we chant mantras 108 times?
the magic number 108. It basically relates to, there are 9 planets that move through 12 of our zodiac signs. So that creates 108 different kinds of effects on our life. So that's the reason, in order to save ourselves from any ill effect from the vibrations, or from the permutations and combinations of those 9 planets and 12 zodiac signs, we say 108, chanting of Om Namah Shivaya 108 times, or any other mantra that really helps. That's the reason 108 is really significant um, in our culture, so to say. Basically nullifying obstacles, with those 12 into 9 possibilities that lies.
Wow, how meaningful it was. India's history and culture is dynamic. Spanning back to the beginning of human civilization, one of the world's oldest civilizations, India is a unique, uninterrupted tradition for centuries. So let's take a look at the documentary of our ancient Indian civilization.
Greetings to everyone. Myself Vani, and today I am going to take you to the journey of history of India. India's history and culture is dynamic, spanning back to the beginning of human civilization. It begins with a mysterious culture along the Indus River and in farming communities in the southern lands of India. The history of India is punctuated by constant integration of migrating people with the diverse cultures that surround India. Available evidence suggests that the use of iron, copper, and other metals was widely prevalent in the Indian subcontinent at a fairly early period, which is indicative of the progress that this part of the world had made. By the end of the 4th millennium BC, India had emerged as a region of highly developed civilization. The history of India begins with the birth of Indus Valley Civilization, more precisely known as Harappan Civilization. It flourished around 2500 BC in the western part of South Asia, what today is Pakistan and Western India. The Indus Valley was home to the largest of the 4 ancient urban civilizations of Egypt, Mesopotamia, India, and China. The Indus Valley civilization was basically an urban civilization, and the people lived in well planned and well looked after. They had wide roads and a well developed drainage system. The houses were made of baked bricks and had two or more decay of Indus Valley civilization are the recurrent floods and other natural causes like earthquake. After the Indus civilization is the earliest civilization in the history of India. It is named after the Vedas, the early literature of Hindu people. The Vedic civilization flourished along the river Saraswati in a region that now consists of the modern Vedas, the Rig Veda, the Samveda, the Yajurveda and the Atharvaveda. The Rig Veda contains hymns about the mythology. The Samveda consists mainly of hymns about religious ritual. The Yajurveda consists instruction for religious ritual. And the Atharvaveda consists of spells against enemies and diseases. Some major deities of the Vedic tradition include Indra, Surya, Agni, Usha, Vayu, Varuna, Mitra, Aditi, Yam, Som, Saraswati, Prithvi and Rudra. Brahma is one of the principal deities of Hindus. Though his importance has declined in the recent centuries, he is also referred as Swayambhu, which means self-born, and is associated with creation, knowledge and Vedas. After the Vedic civilization came the Buddhist era. During the lifetime of the Gautam Buddha, 16 great powers, which are also known as Mahajanpadas, existed in the 7th and the early 6th centuries. Among the more important republics were the Sakyas of Kapilavastu and the Lichavis of Vaishali. In our culture, there have been many sages and saints who have conveyed the message to the world on how to lead a happy and peaceful life.
Oh, that was a nice compilation. एकता विविधता में है, ना कि समानता. There's a common saying about India that unity in diversity means India is a diverse country where people of various religions differ in their language, food tradition, rituals, etc. However, they live with unity. So let us have a look on some of the different types of languages and dialects.
നമസ്കാരം എല്ലാവർക്കും. ഞാൻ സുസാൻ ഇന്ന് മലയാളം പാട്ടിയെക്കുറിച്ച് പറയാൻ പോവാം. മലയാളം ഒരു ദ്രവിഡ്യൻ ഭാഷ ആണ്. ഇത് കേരളയില് പിന്നെ യൂണിയൻ പ്രദേശത്തിന്റെ ലക്ഷദ്വീപ്, പോണ്ടിച്ചേരി മലയാളി ആൾക്കാരുടെ സംസാരിക്കുന്ന ഭാഷ ആണ്. മലയാളം 2.8% ഭാരതവാസികൾ സംസാരിക്കും. മലയാളം ക്ലാസിക്കൽ ലാംഗ്വേജ് ഓഫ് ഇന്ത്യ 2013 സ്ഥാപിച്ചു. മലയാളം പരമ്പരയില് കുടിയോട്ടം പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു നാടകം ഉണ്ട്. പിന്നെ കഥകളി പറഞ്ഞ ഒരു നൃത്യ കഥ ഉണ്ട്. ഇതെല്ലാം 500 વર્ષം പഴയതാണ്.
બધાને નમસ્તે. હું નમાન વર્ગનો સર્વજ્ઞ છું. હું મેં ગુજરાતી પરિવારનો છું. તે સ્થાન છે જ્યાં અહિંસક આંદોલન નેતા ગાંધીજીનો જન્મ થયો હતો. તેમનો સાબરમતી આશ્રમ તારીખ સુધી સચવાઈ છે. હવે હું તમને અમારી સંસ્કૃતિ વિશે કહીશ. ભલે હું ગુજરાતી છું, પણ પહેલા તો હું ભારતીય છું. ભલે આપને ભાષા ਵਿੱਚ આન પર આધારિત હોય છે.
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ। ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਭਾਵਿਕਾ ਭਾਟੀਆ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਸੰਸਕ੍ਰਿਤੀ ਨਾਲ ਰੂਬਰੂ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਚੱਲੀ ਹਾਂ। ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪੁਰਾਣੀ ਔਰ ਸਮ੍ਰਿੱਧ ਸੰਸਕ੍ਰਿਤੀਆਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਹੈ। ਇਹਦੀ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ਤਾ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਕਵਿਤਾ, ਦਰਸ਼ਨ, ਸਿੱਖਿਆ, ਸੰਗੀਤ, ਵਾਸਤੂਕਲਾ ਤੇ ਪਰੰਪਰਾएं ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਸਪਸ਼ਟ ਹੈ। ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੀ ਜੀਵਨ ਸ਼ੈਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਰੁਣਾ ਤੇ ਉੱਚ ਉਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਦ੍ਰਿੜ ਨਿਸ਼ਚੇ ਲਈ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਪੰਜਾਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਤਿਥੀ ਨੂੰ ਭਗਵਾਨ ਮੰਨਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਅੱਛੀ ਦੇਖਭਾਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ है। पंजाब की संस्कृति प्राचीन सभ्यता की विरासत प्रस्तुत करती है। ऐसे लेकर जाता है पंजाबियों की शान वखरी।
मेरा नाम पार्थ है और आज मैं आपको भारतीय संस्कृति के बारे में कुछ महत्वपूर्ण बातें बताऊंगा। भारत के पूरे इतिहास में भारतीय संस्कृति धर्मों से काफी प्रभावित रही है। भारत सिख धर्म, बौद्ध धर्म, जैन धर्म और अन्य धर्मों का जन्म स्थान रहा है। वे सामूहिक रूप से भारतीय धर्मों के नाम से भी जाने जाते हैं। भारत विभिन्न परंपराओं का देश है। हमारे देश में कई जातियों, पंथों और परंपराओं के लोग निवास करते हैं। भारतीय संस्कृति और सभ्यता ने दुनिया को सभ्य बनाया है और जगत गुरु की उपाधि प्राप्त की है।
सुप्रभात है। मम नाम खुशी मित्तल अस्ति। अहम् अद्य भारतीयसंस्कृतिविषये कश्चन कथयामि। कश्चिदपि देशस्य स्वसंस्कृतः सभ्यता च वर्तते यत् देशं विरासतेन परम्परागतेन आपनोत्। संस्कृतिः सभ्यता एव समस्तदेशान् विभक्तं करोति। समस्तदेशानां साहित्यः ललित कलायां परम्परायां च भिन्नाः सन्ति। तदनुरूप समस्तदेशस्य संस्कृतिः सर्वथा भिन्नाः सन्ति। भारतस्य आध्यात्मिक जीवन दर्शनः साहित्यः कला भाषा च इत्यादयः अत्यन्तं प्राचीनः अस्ति। भारते प्रतिवर्षे अनेकाः पर्यटकाः अस्य संस्कृतिः सभ्यताः च द्रष्टुम् आगच्छन्ति। भारते हिन्दुधर्मस्रामः सिखः बौद्धः जैनः ईसायः च मिलित्वा सहयोगेन जीवनं यापनं करोति। धन्यवाद।
Oh wow, that was so lovely and informative.
Sneha, we have learned a lot from this presentation till now, but I'm still very curious to know more. I've heard this many times, but I really want to know what it actually means. संस्कृति इंसान को सभ्य और जीवन को सुखी बनाती है।
Okay, Nakshat, let me take you through some of the traditions and the customs. India has a rich culture and that has become our identity. Even though people have become modern in today's world, still they follow their traditions and customs.
Oh, really? But Sneha, are there any reasons behind all these traditions and rituals?
Yes, of course, there are. Let's have a look.
Hey there, my name is Agast and I am going to brief you about a very common Indian tradition, Tilak. Many of us must have observed our father going to the office with a tilak. Your mother applies a tilak to your forehead when you have a big day to go. Tilak is believed to be auspicious in Indian culture. Many people always go to their office or school with a tilak done. Well, don't think it is non-relevant. In fact, it is more scientific than you think. A tilak is believed to prevent the loss of energy and retain this to control various levels of concentration. Moreover, the act of applying this ensures that the mid-brow region and Agni Chakra are pressed, facilitating the blood supply to the facial muscle. Now that's all about tilak.
So today we are going to learn about the Indian culture of wearing toe rings. Toe rings have been in the Indian culture for a very long time now. Normally in Indian culture, toe rings are used to represent the marital status of Hindu women. These also at some point of time peaked as fashion accessories. Many people think that wearing toe rings is actually pointless because they think toe rings have no scientific significance and are nothing but a mere symbol of love. But actually toe rings have many health benefits. Women wear toe rings because the rings put slight pressure on a nerve which regulates menstrual flow. This helps in maintain a healthy menstrual regulation, which is good and aids the reproductive system. This also eases the pain. This also helps in having a baby as it aids the reproductive system and helps maintain a healthy uterus. Thank you.
What is happening here? Yes, it is Yagya. It is an old Indian tradition. It refers to a ritual done in front of sacred fire, often with mantras. It has been a Vedic tradition described in the layer of Vedic literature called Brahman. We know there are many scientific reasons of Yagya. It purifies the physical atmosphere of a person by killing all the insects and moths. It helps to correct venous home and start some problems in horoscope. It has a positive effect in resolving venous financial, health, career-related problems. These are some scientific reasons about Yagya. So now, let's see about another type of tradition.
Gayatri Mantra. One of the very known rituals is the chanting of Gayatri Mantra. When we were in school, we start our day with it. But why? Well, it is said that Gayatri Mantra helps to develop one mental power and stress, easy stress and take one to a high level of consciousness. Having a proper chanting of Gayatri Mantra helps to remove all the toxins from the body and keeps the heart healthy by removing all the negativity. It directly affecting breathing and indirectly provide relief in asthma. Regular recitation improve heavy breathing problem. etc.
Everyone have visited temples and saw different types of bells over there. Why the temple bells are there? What is the logic behind the ringing of temple bells? Why do people rang it? Let us explore these questions. So, bells have symbolic meaning in Hinduism. It is said to be the spiritual seat of god and goddesses. Temple bell is also known as ghanta in Sanskrit and its study is called campanology. The ringing of bell helps to awake ourselves and focus on God. The sound of the bell is considered auspicious, which welcomes divinity and dispels evil. Ringing bell during prayer is said to help in controlling the ever-wandering mind and focusing on deity. Now, I will tell some scientific reasons about temple bell. The sound of a bell activates the 7 chakras in a human body. It creates harmony between the left and the right brain. The sound makes the mind and soul calm and rejuvenates the human body. And it removes negative thoughts. Thank you.
That was really amazing.
Shatra, many people say that India still has a long way to go before it is acknowledged as a developed nation.
I agree, Sneha, that India may be a developing country, but we cannot ignore the very important contributions such as the discovery of zero, the first school of medicine, the Ayurveda, inventions like USB, and many other such milestones are achieved by India only.
Oh wow, I was not aware of that. But still, I need to know more to be convinced enough.
Sure, for you, I have some of my friends with a small enactment, so let's watch.
Hey Anushka, how are you? I have been noticing that you seem very excited nowadays.
Hey Jiskaran, I'm great. Actually, I'm so excited about my vacation as we plan to go to abroad to France this summer.
Oh wow, that's a very good news. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks. By the way, where are you going?
My family and I are visiting East India, the Seven Sisters and all, you know.
Just India.
Well, yeah, I think it will be interesting.
Nothing interesting here, mate.
Good morning, students. What are you talking about?
Good morning, ma'am. Nothing special was being discussed here. Just telling each other about our vacation plans. I was telling Jaskaran that how unfortunate he is that he just gets to visit East India.
Well, yes. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. Why would you think something like that, Anushka?
Well, it is true, ma'am. India isn't much compared to countries like France. The technological advancement, arts, education system, etc. are much better than what we have in our country.
I see. Anushka, Jaskaran, why don't you both accompany me to meet a few colleagues of mine? Let's see if they can change their mind.
Hello, Adya. What brings you here?
Hello, Dakshita. These kids were discussing our country's position with regards to technological advancement. I thought I should ask an expert. Can you help?
Oh, sure I can. Kids, ours is the oldest civilization in the world. With an advanced engineering and drainage system, the Indian civilization has a strong tradition of science and technology. You guys must know about Ram Setu.
Yes, ma'am, of course we know.
Must have learned about atoms in your chemistry class. This theory was discovered by a notable scientist of ancient India, Kannad. He speculated the existence of Anu or small indestructible particles that were much like an atom.
This is astonishing that the things we students learned worldwide were discovered by India.
Yes, of course. There is much evidence which shows that airplanes were discovered 7,000 years ago. The same can be studied in Vamnaka Shastra, hence making us very advanced in aeronautics as well. Oh really? That's intriguing.
Well, thank you, Dakshita. I wasn't aware of all this either. As we we are getting to know these things, let's explore the fields of mathematics with Manu sir. He's a really great mathematician. I'm sure he can tell you where our country stands in that regard. Can't you, sir?
Well, you kids must know that zero was invented in India, right?
Yes, I knew, but what else? That's just it.
That's not just it. Our nation helped in the discoveries of negative numbers, algebra, trigonometry, and arithmetic. Furthermore, trigonometry was further advanced in India, and in particular, sine and cosine were developed there.
Oh my! I never knew about all this. It's beyond we ever thought.
I didn't either, but this doesn't necessarily prove anything.
Well, it's not yet done, kiddo. The Indian mathematician Bhaskara had discovered many of Leibniz's ideas over 500 years ago.
This was so unexpected. I never thought that these discoveries were made so many years ago.
Yeah, me neither.
Students, as well back as 1200 BC, mathematical knowledge was being written down in the form of a larger body of knowledge known as the Vedas.
Oh, but how come mathematical discoveries are in Vedas?
Yeah, me too. How's Veda and literature stuff related to maths and science?
Well, students, let's converse with Miss Pearl here and see if she can help you guys out with this.
Oh, hey there. Who are these two?
Oh, these students wanted to know a little more about our country. Kids, Miss Pearl here is an expert in literature of ancient India.
Well, kids, if I tell you about Vedas, they play a major role in literature. Did you know that all the discoveries and scientific notations like tools and implements, transportation, medicines, the concept of time, numerical system, and many more were already stated in the Vedas thousands of years ago?
Amazing! I have heard about it. They are very old, right, ma'am?
Yes, these are. Basically, there are four Vedas known as Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, and Atharvaveda. In Rig Veda, the elements are praised in a personified form.
Really, ma'am? I never knew this.
Well, now you know this. I'm sure that your homes you have yagna for other peace and stuff, right? Well, Yajurveda gives instruction to all kinds of rituals which are conducive for human well-being.
Yes, ma'am. I too have observed, but never thought it was written in the Vedas.
Me too. But what about the other two? The Atharvaveda and the Samveda?
Students, have you heard of Atharvaveda being known as the knowledge story?
Yes, but why is it called so?
Well, just Karan, it is because every procedure of life is written in that. In addition, Samveda shares a lot of textual context with Rig Veda. But this way is the realization of power of musical notes.
Oh wow! It is very good to know the things which were never known to us about our own country. It's just brilliant. After all this, I'm sure, Anushka, that you have no doubt that India is the best.
I guess so.
Ah, you still don't sound so sure, Anushka. But that's okay. We still have the best for last. Let's see the great performing arts of India, which will surely make you amazed.
Kalaripayattu. It is a martial art designed for the ancient battlefield, with weapons and combative techniques that are unique to India. Kalaripayattu contains rituals and philosophies inspired by Hinduism. The art also bases medical treatments upon concepts found in the ancient Indian medical texts, the Ayurveda.
ठुमक चलत रामचंद्र, ठुमक चलत रामचंद्र, बाजत पैजनिया। ठुमक चलत रामचंद्र, बाजत पैजनिया। ठुमक चलत रामचंद्र। गिलकी गिलकी उठत धाय, गिलकी गिलकी उठत धाय, गिरत भूमि लट पटाय। नाय मात गोद लेत दशरथ की रनिया। ठुमक चलत रामचंद्र, बाजत पैजनिया। ठुमक चलत रामचंद्र। तुलसीदास अति आनंद, तुलसीदास अति आनंद, देख के मुखार बिंद, देख के मुखार बिंद। रघुवर छवि के समान, रघुवर छवि के समान, रघुवर छवि बनिया। ठुमक चलत रामचंद्र, ठुमक चलत रामचंद्र, बाजत पैजनिया। ठुमक चलत रामचंद्र।
India is a beautiful country, students. It's diverse and developing, but all the more beautiful because of it. Let's never forget that and love our country with all our hearts. I agree, ma'am. The dance form and martial arts were so great. Not just this, I like everything, I would say.
Oh wow, what a wonderful performance it was. Now I can relate to who the Indians are.
I share the same Sneha. Together we feel ourselves proud Indians. And last but not the least, our next presentation is all about elements of life, Panch Tattvas. My dear audience, I'm not going to disclose any details. Let's hear directly from the horse's mouth.
The aim of Yog Sadhana is mastery over oneself, and that can only be achieved if we are able to master the Panch Bhutans.
But what are these Panch Bhutans and how are these relevant to us?
The Panch Bhutas are the basic 5 elements that make up any living organism on Earth or anywhere else in the universe. They are associated with the overall health of human beings. Any disorder in the human body indicates the imbalance of one or more of these elements.
This implies that due to the absence or imbalance of these elements can bring a lot of disruption in the life of these living things, leading to instability of this universe.
And these 5 elements are fire, water, sky, wind, and earth.
These elements evidently help us in living a life. Any imbalance in these 5 elements will lead to misbalance in the life of living beings.
Our body is also made up of these Panch Tattva. Even our sense organs are made up of these 5 elements. Let us know more about these elements.
Now let's talk about sky element. Sky has no limit. Not only Earth but entire universe is within the space. There are always an echo in the sky.
There are many opinions about this echo. It's believed that space is an empty area which echoes the sound of O. This sound reaches our ear and it has been recognized by us. The space element is the owner of our hearing power.
Air element. Air is another key feature for the life of living beings. The oxygen responsible for the life on Earth is found in air only. We can't even imagine our lives without it. If there is a delay in the oxygen supply to our brain, then our brain cells start stunned. Our breath is under the control of air. Air also controls the touch, which is directly linked to our skin. So it can be said that air actually controls our skin. Air is under the sky, which means that if there is no sky, there will be no air. Old scholars have said that air has two features, shock and spurge, which means that it is because of air that we can hear a sound or feel a touch.
Now let's talk about fire element. Fire or energy provide us life. Fire gives us energy to live, but for the fire to exist, air is mandatory. We may say that fire is dependent on air and space. Fire gives us light, which enables vision for us. So fire is responsible for our eye to function.
Water element. Water controls the blood and juices of a body, and it is under the control of fire. So we can say that it is dependent on fire, air and sky. Since it controls the juices of a body which are directly related to the taste, it can be said that water controls the taste sense through our tongue.
Now let's talk about earth element. All our bones and muscles come under the land element. Land is dependent on the four elements. Just imagine, without fire, water, space and air, quality of the earth element is smell, which is directly linked to the smell organ, which is nose. To sum up, I would like to say that the foundation of the entire cosmos is led by five cardinal elements. They act like riverbed for the fallen world. All the living and non-living entities of this world are composed of Panch Tattva. The amalgamation of these five elements provide a broad spectrum to each and every object it being in the universe. It is not only makes diverse but also gives it an extraordinary dimension.
The proportion and content of the composition in every object and individual might differ but exists in an inseparable form, which is of admixed texture due to the versatility of different elements. All the cosmic consciousness and spirit contain these five elements as an integral part of their existence.
So, that is all about the presentation by the performers of 9th B and 9th C. Now I would like to request Principal Committee Direkta ma'am to inspire us with her motivating us and shower her blessings on us.
A very pleasant good morning and a very happy Teej to all of you. And you know, the topic which talks about genesis of Indian culture and tradition, you know, and when we hear this word genesis, you know, it's like Prarambh or origin, from where it kind of it started. And when we talk about Indian history and culture, what I remember is it goes back to the human civilization, you know, culture that belonged to, that was being, you know, developed around the Indus River in the southern part. And at the end of the 4th millennium BC, India emerged as a region of a highly developed civilization. Everybody talks about the Indus Valley civilization. And ever since, you know, it had become a hot favorite destination of a lot of our invaders. You know, anything which is different, beautiful, and much ahead of its time, you know, it attracts a lot of people. So we did had, you know, a lot of Arabs that came, Mahmuds, Turks, you can call it Mughals. Alexander also could not resist coming to India, and of course Britishers that we all know about. And I think each one of invader that came to India, वो कहते हैं ना अपनी एक छाप छोड़ के जाते हैं, अपना एक culture छोड़ के जाते हैं. And India, as always being very large-hearted, you know, has adopted everyone's culture and tradition. And I think that makes our country so beautiful, so unique. And that's the reason why we always talk about, you know, unity in diversity. You know, हम हर culture को अपने अंदर एक तरह से समा लेते हैं. And I think that is the power of our country. So today's presentation by class 9th B and C under the mentorship of Rishu Kapoor and Rima Sharma, I could see both of them there. I think, and anchored so beautifully by Sneha and Nakshatra. You know, it was like a Bharat Darshan, you know, how it evolved, you know, how, from the ancient to the modern. So we got a complete overview of that. But before I actually speak a little more about assembly, I take this my pleasure to welcome Arya Chitransh, an alumni of the school. He's one of my favorite students, if I could say that. And I hope he's joined because I can't see him. So he has done diploma in acting from the Institute of Creative Excellence by a big brand called Balaji Telefilms, Mumbai. Currently, he is associated with Kishore Namrat Kapoor Acting School, Mumbai, and he's also pursuing his LLB. Did he join? Was he able to join? Is Arya there? Because I really can't see.
He is here.
Okay. So if I can see him on the screen, you know, he'll make my day.
Arya, unmute yourself, beta. Yes.
Oh, so wonderful to see you.
Thank you.
Good
morning, ma'am.
Now I can see you, Arya. And I can never ever forget, you know, a day when we had to go for a competition. And Arya, we were being told कि वो उस competition में, I don't know who prepared, Jyoti ma'am prepared, or I don't remember, but he had to play both a dance in which he had to play a role of both man and a woman. You know?
Yes, ma'am. It was Bharatnatyam prepared by N. Meenakshi, ma'am.
I think he went to Alcon school, if I'm not mistaken.
I went to Hillwoods Academy, ma'am.
Hillswood Academy,
yeah.
And he's not a trained. You know,
yes, ma'am. Bharatnatyam, sir.
And he won the first prize, and I think we were all on the top of world, and I could still see his face. Piche mask tha, aur aage he had painted.
Yes,
so that he has always been such a great learner, you know. And I think to experiment out things, you know, this is all the children who are listening here. You know, कोई भी opportunity मिलती है, बच्चों को तो उस opportunity को grab करना चाहिए, you know, and try to give it a best shot. Don't, you know, I mean, he would have, I'm sure, thought, what will my friends think? मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ? मैं dance करने जा रहा हूँ? वो भी you know, Bharatnatyam, और वो एक मैं और कपड़े अजीब से पहन के, तो you know, but I think he thought, I'm sure it must have come in his mind, कि should I do or shouldn't do, and he went ahead with it because I'm sure he must have felt it is different, you know, and that experience, I'm sure, would have been his first experience to know that he can do acting. You know,
sure,
he can perform. Yeah. So, and I think that would have been the day when the seat of a performer was. So, what I want to tell children, you know, कुछ भी नया करने को मिले, ज़्यादा मत सोचो कि मेरा दोस्त क्या कहेगा, उस opportunity को करो, ठीक है, हम वो जीत के आया आर्या, और उसके बाद I think in annual days and all, numerous platforms he got. And the best thing I like about Arya is you were in Krishna House?
Ganga House.
कोई भी Ganga House का अगर event हुआ, you know, I could see Arya there. You were the Ganga House captain, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, ma'am. And I was been entitled as Mr. Ganga after that.
I know. Okay. It's good to be associated with Ganga anyways. So I could see him, the kind of passion he had for his house. You know, koi bhi event ho raha, he would come running to see the, you know, that is the spirit that I love about him. And lots of blessings, Arya. We really want to see you on a big screen. And since you're now pursuing also LLB, so in case I get into any legal trouble, you would be my first point of contact.
We just don't hope you get my help in such a manner.
I know it's always be to be away from the lawyers and the doctors. But anyway, good luck. And it's just such a pleasure to see you. You know, you really made my day and I miss your lovely smile. I also take this opportunity to welcome our guest parent, Hansita Srivastava, a former academic head coordinator associated with various brands like TPS and Presidium. And she has done her master's in computers and is pursuing MBA currently, a seasoned counselor and a workshop felicitator also. So welcome you, ma'am. It's an honor to have our guests joining for these special assemblies. And thank you, Sonal, for putting it all together with help of Kanta and Rashmi, such a wonderful assemblies. And you know, this, you know, Arya and Hansita ji, I would like to share that this entire month of the assemblies are dedicated to India. So the last assembly another one which is coming up also talks about Ayurveda, that we have at 9:30, you know. So all the assemblies, I think, in this month is dedicated to, because we have a 15th August coming, Independence Day, and so to bring in that, you know, that national fervor in the children. So, well, I think right from the school prayer to the thought, to the talk show, to the documentary, which was so nicely made, the speeches in different languages, though I did not understand few of them. You know, but it was very beautifully put up. Tradition of India, message of the social healers, and you know, enactment, Panch Tantva. You know, I think each one of it was very, very beautiful. And like I said earlier, also that India has a very rich culture, and that has become our identity. Be it religion or an art or an intellectual achievement, performing arts, it has made us such a beautiful, colorful, and a diverse nation. You know, India, like I said earlier, India has the power to have to kind of embrace that multicultural society. It's not easy. I want to tell you this. You know, and when I go to, I've been visited a lot of European countries. If you go to France, they are not tolerant even towards English. You know, they would only like, even if they know English, they will speak French. You know, so that kind of a low tolerance. So I think we are the country who are extremely tolerant, and I think the only country, and I can say it with a lot of pride, who treats and welcomes their guests as gods, you know, and that's how we talk about Atithi Devo Bhava. So, you know, these are things that make us so different. And मुझे लगता है कि ये जो हमारा धरोहर है, I think each one of us should live it, should preserve it. There are certain things that we need to preserve it, you know, so that we can pass these traditions to our children. जो बहुत अच्छी चीजें होती है वो हमें जरूर देनी चाहिए, समेटनी चाहिए. And I conclude when I say this that the basic roots of our culture are the spiritual. I am not into religion, but spiritual practices, whether it is meditation, whether it is mindfulness, you know, whether it is yoga, you know. I think, especially in this pandemic times, I think everybody is now going back to that to keep our emotional and mental stability. and what we are also known as that in time of crisis, you know, we all stand united. सिर्फ क्रिकेट मैच के लिए नहीं against Pakistan. Yeah, anything, you know, the way we have accepted the defeat by the football, girls, even if they're coming fourth. But I think the India is celebrating the spirit with which they fought that last semi-finals. I think that makes it, a unique. And of course, the humanity that I think comes naturally to every Indian. So, so thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed the assembly, and I just hope that our special guests who are there also enjoyed it as much as I did, and as much as children, I think, prepared putting it up virtually. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, ma'am, for your appreciation and inspiring words.
May I now request our chief guest to enlighten us with his words of wisdom?
Good morning, respected Honorable Principal cum Director, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was unpredicted the way you introduced me. I was in 7th, the competition you're talking about, and I literally remember you gave me an advice to keep your face in front whenever you perform. So I was very happy when I came first and I came to your office and you just got shocked. Oh my God, what RI has done. So thank you so much, ma'am. And I would just like to add that I literally consider you a very important part of my life, because the school is the place where you get to know what you want to become. And it has always given me a stage what I have to become. And I always say at my home also that ma'am is my second mother, because there is a reason for this, because ma'am's daughter and I share the same date as our birthday. So that is one of the reasons, 22nd of April.
April, yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons. And coming to the assembly, I would just say that it would have been common if you would not have told the facts. Basically, in today's scenario, if you're proving something, then you have to put a scientific fact along with it to prove it. So I was very happy the way it was presented, the anchors, especially Sneha and Nakshatra, and everybody who performed, whether it was Bhavika and everybody who performed in the assembly, it was with a lot of enthusiasm, with a lot of confidence. Even I got scared that I would have frightened if with the thought of doing so much of hard work via video calls also. So literally, and I just want to add one thing, that as I've been called, so I would add something to your knowledge. As everybody knows that this is a very pious month, Savan, and we are talking about traditions. So I just tell you one thing, that I'm knowing it and I'm following it. So you should get the reason for that. Everybody goes to temple, worship Lord Shiv, put milk and curd, and every time, even the Bollywood questions that what there is a need to waste milk and curd out there. There is a scientific reason behind it, guys. Everybody knows, or you might be reading it, that lactobacillus is a bacteria that is present in both milk and curd, and its property is to kill bacterias, bad bacterias. And in earlier times, there were no underground sewages. There were open sewages and open drains that used to come on the roads from the houses. So when you used to worship, used to put curd or offer milk on the shivling, it used to come out of the houses and used to kill the bacteria of the sewages. So there is a scientific reason behind it. I would just say that whosoever has prepared for the assembly, and whatever you're doing, at least you follow it, because somewhere or the other, every tradition, though somewhere or the other, I hate using scientific word, because science does not have to prove our cultures and traditions. In fact, our culture and traditions is because science is there. So even we are the students and we should know. I'm taking too long, but still, like we are students. In earlier times, the boys used to shaven off their heads and then used to study. There is a scientific reason behind it. Sun is having a lot of vitamins and we are asked to get into. So when your head is shaven off, a lot of sunlight gets onto your head, and it definitely improves your thinking process, your mind, and it helps you get sharpened. And after that, when your brahmacharya, what we say, 25 years of age has been used to cross, we used to keep long A's, because once it's been done, then you have to store that knowledge. So then they used to have long A's. So this is something which I knew. I would like to thank all the teacher representatives for calling me, and the students of class 9B and 9C for calling me and coming up to the assembly again. It was a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of confidence, and I believe that whosoever was speaking in the assembly or in the presentation will be marking a very good way in their lives. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
May I now request our welcome parent guest to share a few words with us.
Hello, good morning, everyone. And good morning, Principal Ma'am. It was so nice coming to all of you. And I thoroughly enjoyed the efforts put in by the children and the teachers. It is very difficult to, gather all the things when the children are not there at the campus. So it becomes even, double the effort from the part of the teachers. As far as the assembly is concerned and about the Indian culture, surely none of us can claim that we are an expert in that. But it was definitely a good job on the part of children and teachers. The two things which I would like to add for the children, not as an expert, just as a mother or a parent. There are a lot of things, as Arya rightly said, that it's not good that we, go on justifying everything, saying that it is, related with science and all. Everything that is being done on the part of a human always has a reason. So whenever we do something because we consider it to be right? So a lot of things are being done as a part of our culture, which definitely started from, some kind of thought, which we thought that this should be implemented. The two things that I want to add, that if you as children, you develop an idea that the culture shows up in only one way, then that is definitely a dangerous idea. This is where the conflict begins, right? So it stops you from seeing culture all over. Whatever is happening around us is India, is Indian culture, right? India is not a piece of land. It comprises of all the people who live here. So living people comprise of culture. Culture is a living thing. And in order to, make that culture survive, we need to work day in and day out. It is our responsibility. We are very proud of our heritage, what we have, got in our legacy. But what are we adding on to it? Where are we standing? So as children, as the future of our country, it is your responsibility. As parents, it is our responsibility to carry on that legacy day in and day out. It is not something which can be, just practiced for one particular day, one particular festival, one particular ritual. It is something which is to be inculcated in our lives. Secondly, we are teaching our children to be very proud of our culture. That is a very good thing. This is how we stand out. This is where our school stands out. And we also have to respect the cultures on a whole, on the culture of the other countries also, the other sects also. So this is, I think, the main USP of our culture, that it teaches us not to be, completely engrossed in ourselves. We respect ourselves and we respect others as well. This is what Principal Ma'am was also talking about, that other countries, they do not even tolerate speaking English, but we, as a culture, we just inculcate. It is a very inclusive culture. So this is why we should feel proud about it. And this is the legacy that we should carry on further as well. So thank you so much. I'll not take very long. And it was so sweet to have Arya there, because I can understand it's a very sweet feeling when you go back to your school and you meet your teachers and you meet your principals. So it was very nice to see you conversing there. I hope that our kids also grow up to be like you. And thank you so much to the teachers and principal ma'am for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, parents, for being such a patient and wonderful audience. Hope you all have enjoyed the morning. Namaste.
Namaste.